So yes is the answer. We're always trying to find new schools. Most schools already have some. And we sign long-term contracts, usually 10 years in length. So there's not much going on if you're in year 5. But as you near the end, if they're looking for another partner, then we would get involved. And we're actually talking about merging with IMG, our biggest competitor. So that might happen here in the next month or two. We might merge with them. So probably the biggest school out there that we wouldn't have then is something like Kentucky. They're with a separate group there. But see, then it's back to they've kind of overpaid. We think this company overpaid for Kentucky. So we'd love to have Kentucky, but we don't want to pay that much money because we don't think it's worth $15 million a year. And this company is now losing money because they can't sell $15 million worth of advertising for Kentucky, much less more than that, so they can make a profit. Yeah. So that's the thing. You're kind of playing a little bit of game of chicken there with how much money you're willing to put into it. So, yeah.
Do you also like naming rights, or is that?
So we're involved in naming rights discussions because a lot of times it's a corporate name. But most of that money on the naming rights is used towards funding something at the university, like the facility, like they want to upgrade it or something like that. So we get involved in the discussions, but oftentimes we're not the ones selling it because it's usually a donation that comes from the company. And so a donation is a tax write-off for them, whereas when they buy advertising, like with us, that's not a tax write-off, that's a business expense.
So that new tax law that came in about being able to deduct your tickets that you buy on your tax return, now that's changed, so now they gotta find different avenues to spend the money?
Yeah, that's really, that's a big wait and see for college athletics. So if you're following this, so if you're gonna buy a season ticket at any university, it's gonna cost, let's say you're buying a season ticket at Oklahoma, okay, for football. Buying an Oklahoma football ticket costs $400 for the ticket, plus $1,000 donation to the Sooner Athletic Fund. So each seat costs $1,400. Okay, so the $400 is the expense of the ticket, the $1,000 is a donation to the athletic department to help their scholarship costs and student athlete costs, all that stuff. Okay? Previously, 80% of that $1,000 has been tax deductible. So if I wrote that check of that $1,000, I could take $800 of that, and put that on my tax return, and get that deducted. Okay? The new tax law is wiping that out. So now all that $1,000 is an expense to me. So the worry is now all of a sudden is people are going to be like, oh, that's a lot of money now. Kind of like the tax write-off. So my prediction is the people that love it, that just, I'm gonna support Sooner football no matter what, whatever school it is, they're going to stay. The ones on the periphery who are kind of like, yeah, we like being season ticket holders, but now we just lost $800 a seat. Maybe we'll just buy a couple of, come up to a couple single games. So I think that could really hurt it. We got a couple minutes, so what other questions? Come on, you have just one question. Come on, I see you at the office. You don't get away that easy.
What was your least favorite job you've had from college to now?
Like a real job?
Anything that you've done in the industry that you did it because you knew you had to do it, but it was just part of it, but yeah, I didn't like it.
Well, it's kind of like, I mentioned I went and ran this pro women's volleyball team. Ideally I would have gone from this Division II commissioner's job in Colorado to being like an associate AD for marketing or something like that at Colorado, let's say, or Utah, some big school like that. But life doesn't always work that way, right? So, but every door that closes, another door opens. So if I wouldn't have gone to St. Louis, a few things. Number one, I wouldn't have become a huge Cardinals fan. St. Louis Cardinals, awesome baseball team. Never go to a game. You'll love it. Number one. Number two, I met a ton of people in St. Louis. I still keep in touch with even though I've been living for about a year and a half. And number three, connecting the dots with the people at Learfield, because their headquarters at the time were Jefferson City, Missouri, that would have been much more difficult. Okay? So while I knew the job was going to fail, and it was really hard work because we're trying to launch a pro women's volleyball team and get people interested in it. Hey, you need to come over here. Monday night, we're playing Chicago in pro women's volleyball. Not many people were that excited either. So that was a tough job. But again, it's all about connecting the dots, right? Sometimes you got to do some things you don't necessarily want to do because you're going to get something else out of that. You're going to make a new connection. You're going to meet some new people and have the ability to network. So, and that's why I tell people, let's say, you know, so pick a, if you could work anywhere right now, where would you work? Like your dream job, give me your dream job. Anything.
I guess like in the fashion industry.
Okay. So our competitor, IMG, is huge in the fashion industry. So IMG, they have a whole modeling division. Have you heard of IMG? No? Okay. So if, what I would suggest is, like, you might get done with college and you want to get a job with IMG. And the only jobs you can find are, let's say they're administrative assistant or secretarial, or they're like being an accounting assistant or mailroom supervisor. Or you could take this really cool job over here somewhere else. I tell people, go take that job at IMG, no matter what the job is. Get your foot in the door. Meet people, understand the business, and then find your way. Once you're inside, it's easier to find your way than it's from the outside coming. Okay? So think that in terms of, you know, how about you? What's your dream job? What do you got?
I'm thinking about being a physical therapist.
Okay, great. So lots of great opportunities out there for physical therapists. So you find the physical therapy group in a place you want to live, because that's one of those jobs you might not move a lot. You might set up your practice somewhere, and then you're going to want to take it off. You want to stay here in the Frisco area, or do you want to don't really care, or where?
Well, I'd like to be with like a, kind of like a professional team.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
Astros.
Okay, gotcha. So you're gonna move to Houston, you wanna hook in with the group, because they have an official physical therapy group they work with for all their athletes with the Astros. So your job then would be, how do I find a way to get an internship or something so I can get inside that physical therapy group, whatever the group's name is. I'm sure you can find it on the website probably. And so get in there and do anything, even if it's pushing papers or sitting at the front desk. Because you get in there, and then you slowly find your way. You meet the people. You find out who the key decision makers are, and those are the ones you get to know. Yeah, go ahead.
How do you keep, like, what's the biggest attribute that helps keep connections over time?
So it's a great question. I think a couple things. I think, you have to have meaningful discussion. It has to be kind of a two-way discussion. You can't always be asking your connections or your mentors or whatever it is. You can't always say, hey, can you call this person for this job? Can you do this for me? There has to be meaningful interaction. People want to help. People want to help. If you ask for help, they want to help. Just like you would do that for your friends. Your friends ask you for help, you go, sure, I'll do it right now, yeah. So people want to help you, but you want to be able to provide some value back to them. And you want to let them know when good things happen. So what I do is, I have kind of a weird system I have. You guys know what Google alerts are? Okay. So I have lots of Google alerts set up with all of my like mentors' names. So whenever their names pop up, news article or something happens in some periodical or something on the web or something, I get the Google alert, I click on it. If I think it's something meaningful, I'll drop a quick note. Hey Jim, saw you got this award there, congratulations, just wanted to do that. Just send a quick email or a quick handwritten note and just do that. Okay? So I would set up a Google alert for the things that you really want to do. Okay? Think of those people that are most influential in that area, or the people you'd love to meet someday that are in that business, that are the real business leaders. I start to understand a little bit more about them and about how they tick, about what they're doing. It's a quick little thing if you haven't set it up. I get an email every day about anywhere from 5 to 10 of them. So, but I think it's that, like I said, I think it's that meaningful two-way interaction. So, all right, we got about 2 minutes left. What else? What did we cover? Yes.
You and IMG do merge. What's the name of the company?
That's a great question. I asked our CEO that, and because he's already said the boards have already agreed that he's going to stay as the president and CEO. And so he said he's hoping it's going to stay Learfield, just because of the 35 years of name recognition in the marketplace. It'd be dumb to name us, Cardinal. That's actually the name of what we're doing. It's called Cardinal. Kind of like the CIA. They have a simple name, Operation Bareback. This is Operation Cardinal. So that's what we do. But hopefully it's Learfield. We'll see. Maybe next time I come back, they'll have something different on business card. So. All right, last question.
What
the
We'll
coolest?
come back to you because you didn't answer. Go ahead.
What's the coolest like college football experience you've had?
Ooh, boy, that's great. Well, let me give you a few that I mean, first of all, Wisconsin's is great, A&M's is great, Oklahoma's does a good job. Let's see, Michigan is just okay. There's 110,000 people there, but they all sit in their hands thinking they're great. Ohio State's really good. Nebraska, I would say is probably, is amazing because they've been very average. But they're on like a sellout streak of 30 years. It is the biggest thing that happens in that state every year is game day Saturday. I mean, I don't think enough thieves know this around the country. Like the whole state of Nebraska goes to the football game. No one's at their house around that whole state on a Saturday.
It's like the second biggest city in the state on game day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is, and I mean, they love, so I came there one year, I was with Wisconsin, flew there with the team, and we just kicked the shit out of them. We beat them like 48-3 or something like that. And their fans clapped for us going off the field, you know, I'm like walking with some of the team, I'm like, what the heck's this? You know, everybody else would be MFing us, you know, in the Big Ten, but in Nebraska, hey, you guys played good, congratulations. You know, so like then, you know, the bus is off like the side of the stadium, you kind of walk through, and that's where kind of like the parents of our players and all that kind of wait for their kids. And so we're all standing around, there's a bunch of restaurants, good job you guys played great. You know, like walking away, and we're all like, wait a second, something's wrong with this. Is it like a cult or something? Are they like brainwashed? So that's a very unique experience. So that's cool. All right, last question.
So if y'all and IMG merge, and y'all have like these different companies that help out that handle different things, I'm assuming IMG does too, how would y'all like handle like the merger that are just so
It's
used?
great question. There'll be some people who won't have jobs. There's no doubt about that. Because yeah, you're right. We have a lot of overlap in things. You know, like let's say website stuff. You know, Sidearm has 60-some people that work for them. They have a website division that has like 50 people. We don't need 110 people working on websites. We probably need 70. So that'll play out over time, but that is the thing. But you know, the nice thing is it's not like we're buying them and we're still going to have the same. Everything we have will be like doubled. We'll have double the number of schools, double the number of things we need to do. So there'll be some contraction, but I don't know if it'll be dramatic. But you know, one thing about business is it's always changing. So there's something new every day. So all right,
Perfect.
great.
Awesome.
All right, thank you. So
Let's get a picture real quick and then you wrap up and I'll get a picture.
no, what's that?
JT has a lot to live up to.
You better step it up.